So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to talk about this entry. I'm 6 months into my testosterone treatment. I've just a couple days ago, the second shark week of the last 30 days has ended. And last night was a really, really rough night. I essentially wanted to die because I couldn't stop thoughts in my head that told me my entire life is a lie. My body is a lie. Why can't I accept that I'm a woman? Why am I pretending to be a man? Because there's no way I could ever be a man. And I was up well past midnight. I don't know how late I was up because eventually I just wrapped myself in my blankets in bed and didn't even bother looking at the phone to see what time it was. But I was up just sobbing. I thought if I stayed up late enough, I would just conk out when I went to bed, but that didn't really happen. I was up just thinking thoughts. Yes, kitty, I know. Yes. I was up thinking thoughts about just negative, self-hating thoughts. Tons of doubt about essentially who and what I am. And I did get up and go to the computer to try to find the number for the trans Lifeline, but I couldn't call them. I had several bad experiences with crisis lines from my county, and I don't trust crisis lines anymore because the crisis line used to be manned by assholes in my county. From what I understand, it's changed since then, thank God. But I don't trust crisis lines anymore, even though Trans Lifeline is supposed to be incredibly good. I didn't know who else I could call. I didn't want to tell any friends because I didn't want cops at my door and to be sent to the hospital again for suicidal thoughts. Prior to going to bed, I was trying self-care. I painted my nails. I did a conditioning treatment in my hair. I threw on a Disney movie that didn't have a huge, sobbing, sad subplot to it. I tried to, distract myself with various things, and nothing was really working. It was just doomed to be a terrible, terrible night. And I'm still really bummed out, if you can't tell. I still am getting thoughts that everything I am is a complete fabrication, and no amount of hormones is going to change who and what I am. I can get hormone blockers, I can get progesterone and stop my periods, but it doesn't change the fact that I have a uterus and I have ovaries, And it would be like putting a band-aid on an open gaping wound. It just isn't going to change anything. Um, and I know these thoughts are not genuine me thoughts. These are mental illness thoughts. I've had depression since I was at least 12, and I've dealt with intrusive thoughts from depression and other mental illness issues I've had. So I know an intrusive thought when I have one. It doesn't make ignoring them any easier, really. And this is not the first time I've had such strong doubts about myself. I've had self-hatred thoughts most of my life. I'm nearly 40 now, and these thoughts are a part of life at this point. It's a slight twist on it being more gender oriented than they used to be, because I have an awareness that I didn't used to have regarding gender identity, gender expression, and where my biology fits into all of this. And I just... hate everything about my body right now. Like it's betrayed me. And part of me, even though I lean towards atheism, part of me hates that I was created. Like, I still have religious thoughts that pop in now and again, and I hate that this idea that I was created faulty, so horribly faulty. How could my essence of being be housed in a container that is so ill-fitting? And if I am really supposed to be a masculine person, why do I still do all these things that aren't masculine? Shouldn't I be bashing beer cans against my forehead, or, being more aggressive? Why am I such a soft boy, I guess? Why? I don't know. There's too many whys. And they're all ridiculous, because a lot of them are based on ridiculous stereotypes, which I've always wanted to avoid once I started transitioning. Oh, excuse me a moment. This is rough. This is very, very rough internally. I feel like an asshat for wanting my uterus ripped out. Why can't I just deal with having blood gushing from me every single month? Apparently more than once a month. Why can't I deal with having breasts. Why does it bother me as much as it does? Why, when I have to wear pants cut for a feminine figure, do I have to push down so much discomfort about how I look? Because I know that those pants accentuate certain parts of my lower half. And shouldn't I want that? It's little things that are just so incredibly insignificant and stupid, and I get hung up on them. I mean, when my period comes, I don't even get terrible cramps like I used to. Like, they used to be debilitating, and now Shark Week lasts 4 days tops, and cramps last the first day or two. And they're not super severe, they're just uncomfortable. And yet, everything associated with it is just wrong. It's incredibly wrong. It shouldn't happen. I shouldn't have these organs that do this thing. I'm thinking I'm going to have to call my doctor that I go to in association with my gender issues. I'm thinking I'm going to have to call her and talk to her about the possibility of having a complete hysterectomy. I thought maybe saving an ovary, but from what I'm reading, saving an ovary isn't exactly necessary, especially since I'm getting closer to the age where it wouldn't do much. If I was, 20, 15 years younger, it might make a bigger deal. But I want my uterus gone, and I want my vagina gone. Even just having a vagina is incredibly disturbing to me. It is not supposed to be there. There is not supposed to be anything in that spot. It's supposed to be smooth. I mean, genitalia is just all wrong down there. All wrong. And the only way I can deal with this is by pushing everything down. And I feel ridiculous for it. But I have to push everything down just to cope. Or I'm just going to lose it. And losing it is not something I want to do. I'm trying to keep going. And trying to utilize this new awareness of myself to live a better life. Not neglect life like I did through my 20s and 30s. I just feel like an idiot for all of this. A complete idiot. I don't want this at all. I just want to be back in my blissful cis idiocy before any of this awareness came to me. Just an ignorant, oblivious, because, there was discomfort before, but, it was something I could put up with. Anyway, 6 months in, it's hitting me pretty hard right now. I am going to work to push through this. I do know that depression comes in waves, and it isn't a permanent state of being for me. I am taking my medication on time, so that's good. I'm not going to stop taking my medication. I know that this isn't generic kind of thing, a generic kind of thing where I need to call my psychiatrist, so that's good. I know that it's purely a sense of gender issue. So I'm gonna push through this, and hopefully it won't be too long until I reach equilibrium again. And yeah, it's just shitty.